Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to make this beautiful and delicious sour cream cake. In Russian we call it Smetannik. Historians say that Smetannik recipe was developed on a dairy farm, of course, by a wife of a farmer who decided to use a sour cream for the batter as well as for the cream. And when she whipped it up together and put it all together and served it to her guests, everybody loved it. Over the ages, this recipe was perfected, and it's pretty much in every single household in Russia now. So let me show you how to make this beautiful cake, and the recipe is for the 4-layered cake. You will need 2 cups of sour cream, 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of flour, 3 eggs, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon of a baking soda that we're gonna shock with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. From the whole amount of flour, take out 2 tablespoons, and I will explain to you later why. In a large mixing bowl, we're gonna crack 3 eggs. We're gonna add 2 cups of sugar, and we're gonna start mixing it until our mixture becomes pale yellow. To that mixture, we're gonna add 2 cups of sour cream. We're gonna mix it. Then we're gonna shock baking soda with lemon juice and add it to the egg mixture. And what this does, it tones down the sourness in the batter. Then we're gonna sift 2 cups of flour gradually into our egg and sour cream mixture. It does look like a lot of batter, but I have to remind you guys that we're making 2 sponge cakes that we're gonna divide each in half. So this batter is practically for 4-layered cake. And we're gonna add vanilla, whichever vanilla you prefer. I usually like the vanilla paste. And then we need to divide this batter into 2 halves as equally as possible. We're gonna use that 2 tablespoons of flour that we took out in the white half. And this is why I guys took out the flour, so we can balance the texture of the cakes in each halves. Since we add into the other one 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. This way our batter is gonna be equal on both halves, not one being runnier and the other one is being thicker. So just divide the batter into 2 tins, and mine's are 9.5 inches, and we're gonna bake them at the same time for about 35 to 45 minutes. You can check readiness of your cake by inserting the toothpick in the middle of the cake, and if it comes out clean, your cake is ready. There is another way you guys can tell if your cake is ready. When you can see that separation from the edge of the tin and your cake is nice and springy. We're gonna remove the spring forms from the cakes and we're gonna let them cool. Then we need to level our cakes, and as you can see, I'm using a big bread knife and I'm holding it parallel to the table, and everything that sticks out I'm cutting off. And I'm also gonna use a bread knife to cut this layer into 2 halves, and as you can see guys, I'm only cutting the edges because I want to show you a little trick with a string. When we can cut this layer perfectly into 2 halves, then we're gonna use the little scraps for later. I will show you how we're gonna decorate the cake with it. We're going to repeat the same process with our chocolate layer. And as you can see guys, the cake is very moist and it's very spongy, and when we put the sour cream over it, it's even gonna be more spongier and more delicious. And use that little trick with a string. I think you're gonna love it by separating the two cakes into two perfect halves. And of course we're gonna use the scraps, and I will show you later how we're gonna use them. For sour cream frosting, we're going to need 450 grams, which is 16 ounces of sour cream, and 1 cup of icing sugar. We're also going to need 2 cups of chopped walnuts for the sides of the cake. And then I haven't decided how I'm going to decorate it further, so this is all optional. I guess we'll just figure it out as we go. Put sour cream in the mixing bowl, and we're going to start mixing it on the medium speed. Then we're gonna start adding spoon by spoon icing sugar until the mixture becomes thick. Here's the deal, guys, about mixing any type of dairy frostings like whipped creams or sour cream frostings. You need to maintain that medium speed. If you're gonna increase your speed to too high, your mixture is gonna turn into butter. So this is perfect now. It's time for us to assemble the cake, and I'm going to use that rotating cake stand. So I'm going to choose one layer with a smooth bottom, and I'm going to put it on the bottom. And then we're going to put generous amount of that sour cream frosting on that layer. We're also going to sprinkle it with some chopped walnuts. Then we're going to choose another layer, which is white. We're just going to alternate white with black, and I think it's going to look pretty. So we're going to also put a generous amount of frosting on that white layer. We're going to sprinkle it with chopped walnuts, and then we'll just continue on with putting our cake together until we'll reach to the top layer, where we're going to choose the most smooth layer for the top. And then we need to put the remaining frosting on top of that layer and kind of just let it drizzle on the sides, because we also want our sides of the cakes to be covered with the frosting. And then just continue piling on the frosting on top of the cake and let it drizzle on the side, or just drip on the side. This way we get all the sides covered with the frosting too. Then you need to take a handful of those chopped walnuts and kind of run it through the side of the cake to make sure all the sides are covered with walnuts. You guys can use chopped chocolate or whatever you want. Now remember those cake scraps we had? Traditionally, this cake is covered entirely with this little cake crumbs. It's going to add additional very pleasant taste to this cake. So we're just gonna press them down so they kind of stay nice and flat. And then I'm just gonna improvise. I'm gonna try using some decorating techniques with those little stencils I bought. And I tried to put the cocoa powder into the stencil. It didn't look very good, so it looks like I'm going with the white, because the white stands out a little bit more. And then you can just decorate it even further by putting fresh fruit on top of the cake or pieces of chocolate, whatever you want. You guys, you need to be creative by decorating your own cakes, and this gives it a little more personality to your cakes. Then we're going to transfer the cake on a nice platter. And then I, of course, decided that my hearts do not stand out as much. So I kind of wanted to trace them with the melted chocolate. And then, I just got carried away with those stencils and I put little hearts on the side. I truly hope you guys like this recipe and willing to try it. It does have a little bit of a cheesecake taste to it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.